Can you hear us? Yes, perfect. So we've got.
Mr. Cerno, will you lead us in the pledge of the salute?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, is a symbol of perfect friendships among united cultures.
Thank you. Determination of quorum, we barely got it. Approval of tonight's agenda. Pleasure.
Move to approve January 21, 25 agenda.
A second.
We moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say aye. Motion carries. Approval of the December 17, 2024 regular board meeting minutes.
I move to approve the December 17th, 2024 regular board meeting.
Second.
Then moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Item 2, reorganization of the board. Pleasure.
I move to keep it the way it is right now.
All officers as is.
All of
Okay.
them.
Second.
We move and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Any public comment? No public comment. All right. Moving on to presentation. Carmen, you have the floor. On our wonderful audit.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. Happy New Year. It's been a few months since we were there, but as you said, my name is Carmen Spivey, and I'm here representing Beaches Metro Company to present the results for the audit for year 2024. So this audit covers the dates from July 1st, 2023, all the way to June 30th, 2024. And in front of you, you will have the financial statements. Those are the final statements, and they're already made public. So this is just a presentation of how it went. If you go to the first report, which would be in page 5, doesn't have a number, but it's page 5. It would be the independent auditor's report. This auditor's report states that Carrizozo Municipal School has received an unmodified opinion, meaning that we believe your financial statements are presented fairly, free of material misstatements. So this is the best opinion we can give you. It's an unmodified opinion. This report also outlines the responsibility and the goal of this audit. So the goal was to provide you with that opinion. Responsibilities of management were to provide us with all the information that we requested in order for us to give you that opinion. And our responsibility was to review all that information in order for us to give you that opinion. So as I mentioned before, Carrizozo has an unmodified opinion on their financial statements. And that's just the first report. And then if you skip to page 6 or 9, if you're looking at a PDF, that is going to be the statement of the position, otherwise known as balance sheet. This includes the assets and liabilities for Carrizozo. And this is government-wide, so meaning that it includes items that are long-term, such as capital assets or outflows related to your OPIB and ERV, which are your net pension liabilities, as well as any long-term items such as bonds payable, net pension liabilities, and your deferred inflows. So this pretty much just gives you a big picture of how Carrizozo is dealing within all the funds. So it's like everything together. Then page 8 is the revenues and expenditures or statement of activities, which is for all the funds as well. It's like the big picture. After that, starting on page 10, now you have balance sheets and income statement following for the fund level. This means that we present all the funds, first the major funds, and then we have a total for the non-major funds or other governmental funds. We present all of them like per fund, so you can observe how Carrizozo is performing per fund. but we only present the major ones up front, and then the rest are towards the back of the financial statement. This is just for presentation purposes, just so that all the balance sheets and statements are not the very front. But you still get the idea of like, the big picture. So after those, we have the budgets. Budgets are presented only for those major funds that I mentioned first. So everything that is fund level would be having a budget. We are required to test the budget for every single fund. We just don't present the ones that are non-major, but we still test them all. After the budget, we have the fiduciary net position for the custodial funds or fiduciary funds. The fiduciary custodial funds are funds that do not belong to Carrizozo, but they are held by Carrizozo. Usually all known as activity funds like your athletics or scholarships, basketball, Christmas funds, all those areas that don't necessarily belong to Carrizozo, but you still present them in the financial statement. Following those fiduciary funds, we have the notes to the financial statements. The notes to the financial statements pretty much just go along and go more into detail as to what Carrizozo is as a reporting entity, and as well until the balances that we see up front in the financial statements. So you'll see a little bit more into that when it comes to your capital assets, which is in page, if I'm going too fast, no, this is on page 46 and 47. So page 47, you have capital assets. Although you see the totals up front, you actually see a little bit of a breakdown of like what that entails. You know, your land, your construction in progress, any buildings. You can see that for the year 24, there was a few additions. These additions include a new bus that was purchased, a new sprinkler system for the football field, as well as a greenhouse. It looks really cool. I love the greenhouse. So hope the students are using it a lot. So that pretty much just goes a little bit more to get into those details. Then the next page, starting on page 48, you have your long-term obligations. For the current year, for year 24, Carrizozo obtained a new bond of $200,000, along with the other bonds that they already have, and everything is expected to be paid within the next 6 to 7 years. So everything's going well, all the payments are being made, so that's something that we expect probably in the 6 to 7 years, if you don't get any more loans, to be paid off. Following the long-term debt, we have your pension plan, which is related to ERB, or Education Retirement Board, as well as the NMRCA, which is the New Mexico Retiree Healthcare Authority. These pages are prepared by the state, so we are required to present this. This is just information that talks about those pension liabilities and everything that is required to be part of that pension liability, as well as your schedule of contributions, which is the next few tables. You're going to see a few tables on page 66, where those are just required supplementary information. Either us or Carrizozo prepares them, the state prepares them, we extract them from their website to be able to present it with the Carrizozo. Following that, we're going to have, as I mentioned, the non-major funds. This just allows you to see how each fund is performing individually. It includes the description and then their assets, liabilities, revenues, and expenditures. Then you skip almost to the end of the page or the financial statement to page 95. So we'll have a page number, but it's the second report that we provide you. This is a report for independent auditors report on internal controls. This pretty much states that although we do not give you an opinion on whether your internal controls are efficient, we use your internal controls to determine the areas that are risky, as well as the areas that we need to test more or less, depending on the controls that you already have in place. I mentioned this to Gowan and Mr. Cody during this year, Beasley Mitchell, we pretty much redesigned our approach when it came to the audit. So there is a lot less areas that we determined risky and areas that we determined more risky that we could focus on. So instead of testing a lot of things in every single area, we tested a lot of things in the areas that we determined risky according to the client. So that's something that made it more efficient, and we were able to finish the financial statements and still give you quality work on time and way before the deadline. So the deadline was November 15th. I think this was submitted beginning of October. So that's something that alongside with Cody and his team and Gowan and all the teams from K-12, we were able to do. After that, we have the last page, which is the page of the results of the audit, as I mentioned. Carrizozo Municipal Schools has received an unmodified opinion, meaning we believe your financial statements are presented fairly and free of material mistakes. There was also no findings in the current year, as well as no findings in prior years. So nothing was solved because there was no findings. For the future years, we expect everything to stay pretty much the same. One of the biggest areas of growth would be the buildings of the new school. So we obviously expect some more expenses in that sense, more construction in progress. So that's something that's going to be a little different next year. But other than that, should be pretty much the same. We want to say thank you to the team at Edmonton, Cody, and to Gowan for always providing us all the information that we required on time and answering all the questions that we do. And definitely helps us just stay on track with time and provide you with this quality work that you can see. So as I mentioned, that's all I have to say. I always enjoy working with Carrizozo. It's a really nice, wonderful, clean school, and everybody is a great team that we're happy to work with. So thank you again. And if you have any questions, please let me know right now or send me an email later on if you think of something and ask them. Although we only work with you during that field work week pretty much, and like the weeks afterwards, we're available throughout the year for any questions.
Carmen, I have one question on page 48.
48, let me pull that. Five.
The 200,000 bond this year, the maturity date says 2024. Is that a typo?
I think that is a typo. That should have been 35 or 31.
Yeah.
So I will make a note of that in the file and make sure that that is corrected for the following year.
So it's probably 35, or we're not sure.
Let me check my file real quick. So I can tell you exactly the date.
Okay.
I know you're gonna be paying off everything within 6 or 7 years. So should be pretty soon.
31, 32.
32, so.
It looks like it is 25 actually.
25?
Yes,
The 200,000 that we got last year will be paid off this year?
that's what it says in the work paper that I have. But I can consult with that one just to make sure that it's accurate. But usually smaller bonds like that can be paid off within the next year.
Brian?
And
I'm pulling up the bond agreement right now, just to see.
Oh, okay.
thank you. I'm going to have to do. And then also consider that it says 25, but it could mean that it's within the July to June 25, or it can be after June, which is still technically 25, so it's not the fiscal year 25.
Oh, I see.
So it can be all the way to like next year, December,
Right.
or next year at the beginning.
Oh, Brian's looking that up. Any other questions for Carmen?
I just want to say, we've enjoyed working with Carmen and their company and that, and thank Jessica, K-12, for all their hard work. They did a lot of work. That working with K-12's made it a little simpler because we're pretty much digital now, so transferring things has been a lot easier and a lot smoother and a lot less stressful for Jessica having to dig. There's less to dig for. But we do appreciate everybody's team working on this, and so thank you.
Yes, thank you, Carmen.
Thank you. Of course, thank you. I think you guys did also a wonderful job with all the changes and like teacher personnel that you had this year too. So just definitely getting the ball rolling after people leave is difficult. So I think that with the help of K-12 and everything, you were able to stay afloat. So
All right, well, thank you.
awesome.
more
Thank
than
you so much,
welcome
Rob.
to-
And as I said,
You're
reach
more
out
than
to
welcome to
Dr.
sit in and listen to the rest of the meeting if you'd like.
I'm a little hungry. You guys enjoy.
Okay, thank you, Carmen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And it does just look like a one-year bond.
Yep, that's what I'm seeing too.
Okay. Brian,
Thank you for that clarification, Brian.
Yep, that's what I'm seeing too.
did you know that?
Good.
Did we know that?
What?
It's a one-year bond? We have to pay that?
Alan did.
Okay.
That's right. So, we got plenty going on. We can get it spent, so.
It's actually already been paid off, just so you know.
Oh.
It's paid off in August
Oh,
August of last year?
of 24.
wow, okay. Good news. All right, thank you, Brian. All right, moving on, the reports, item 5, student council.
Hello, finally back again.
Good evening.
Good evening. So our first item on the board is our Blossom and Bow royalty. Our prince and princess was Isaac Palomares and Kaylee Has. Our king and queen, our king and queen was Eric Solis and Destiny Wybreck. At the dance we had that night, there was 16 high school students and 12 middle school students that were in attendance. Our next thing is that we will continue to send out Spirit Thursday reminders for the kids. We count attendance for whoever wears like each class for like if they wear school spirit, like a grizzly shirt or red or on our Thursdays.
Prices at the end of the year
Is it end of the year or quarters?
or?
For whoever has the most attendance. Our next one is Valentine's Day, so February. We have our K through 5 Valentine's dance. We need to coordinate with elementary and get information out still. And then February 3rd through 12th, we will sell Valentine's Day grams.
On that, if anybody's selling anything, I'll definitely hit the courthouse.
Okay.
We've always said that. We'd be glad to buy stuff.
All right. Well, I'll be one of those, so I will probably hit up the courthouse then.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, and then we have remaining proposed events that we're still considering. In March, a family movie night or a family dance. Just to do something with the community for it. January 3rd, no, March 3rd through March 6th is Dark to Seuss week. And it's just dress up days and a readathon. We don't know what days we dress up as or that yet, but it's been a consistent product. For March, oh my goodness, this may be too many M's in here. For April and May, we've talked about doing staff and admin appreciation gifts. that's whenever all of our appreciation stuff goes out. And then May is for field day, because last year we did not have one. We didn't have participation, but we have participation this year, so we are considering redoing it.
Why do we have laws of the weather?
Participation. We were down to me and one other student in student council. That is all I have. Any questions? We good?
Any questions? Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming to the meeting.
They
and
much
updating
better
us.
to talk than me. So,
All right, next report, Pack.
all right, Faith just sent me the PAC report. We had a PAC meeting, on, what's the one day? We had a PAC meeting, last week, I think, last Wednesday, last Wednesday or 2 weeks ago now. Might have been 2 weeks ago. Yes, it was the Wednesday we came back, because we walked out of the PAC meeting, it had to snow and had to start making nervous decisions on snow days. So it was, the week, the 8th when we came back. We had pretty much the same group turning out, but the whole meeting was planning our career day, which is March 19th. We have 20 fully confirmed companies. One of the things we figured out when we got there, we have about 44 in the loop. And so that's almost too many. So we're working, and we kind of adjusted the list on who we're asking. We'd like to get around 33, I think is what we're aiming at. That's what Kathy is working on a schedule and how we can rotate kids through, take all day long. We're working on local restaurants to do lunch for the people who are here. So we'll feed them. The kids will still go to the cafeteria, do their lunch, but we'll feed the presenters that are going to be here. It's going to be exciting. They've got everything from architects to people from the courthouse to multiple police agencies to bank. We're working on a bank. That's one that we haven't got confirmed yet, but we're working with our bank to try to get somebody here. Just various careers. I know, like I said, engineer, windmill, restaurants, and just a little bit of everything coming in. It's going to be a pretty broad spectrum, but as many people we show an interest, we may have to do a second day to get the others to come at another point later in the year, or kind of want to see how the first day goes, how it works. 2 days in a row would be a little much for kids' attention, but we are going to do it for 6th through 12th grade, so go all the way down to our 6th graders, so we can start sparking conversations early. I don't know that our students really have a grasp of all the job opportunities they have local, and then even grander than that, all the job opportunities that they have outside the local, and what it could be at. That's still not to say who they're talking, but they've talked to somebody about being kind of a keynote speaker to set it off, but until we get a confirmation, we're kind of not ready to release that name yet. So, but it would be one of Carrizozo's finest that's graduated from here, if they get who they're trying to get. So, but it's been kind of fun to watch, because they've really taken the ball and ran with it, and I think it's going to be a good day. So.
Are you also giving the principal?
Yes. And the one that was in the board packet I got out was December's. I have January's hot off the press. Miss Barola, even while she's out sick, put it together and sent it to me just before the meeting. So enrollment's at 149. Most of our numbers have stayed the same. We did lose one family in Albuquerque that wasn't on the last report, so that took a couple students. So that's the change from last month to this month. Tuesday, January 14th, Jessica with Trio signed up about 10 of our students to be peer tutors. And Trio pays them and to tutor those students, I think. I think she's been one of our tutors in the past, and I think she still is. I know she was in the past last year. And I don't know what they make, but Trio pays them at the end of the year for tutoring, so.
Sam is one of the
And Sam.
key tutors now.
So, and I've seen him doing that in the cafeteria, so they'll know, I mean, and it's tutoring, he's not giving answers. It's tutoring. Wednesday, January 15, EMU representative spoke to the seniors. Wednesday, January 22nd, which is tomorrow, home basketball games. We will have the junior high game starting at 4, correct? And then it's parents' night, so it'll be junior high, varsity girls, varsity boys. The team we're playing does not have a junior high girls team. That's why they're not playing. But and then Thursday, our varsity teams go away to Grady. Last weekend, our boys and girls varsities went to Cliff Tournament. Tomorrow, if we can make sure our bus driver is on the list to get on the Holland base, we're taking our junior high quiz bowl to Holloman for a competition. And then I don't have the date, but high school quiz bowl will be in Capitan. I think it's in February. It's first or second week of February. So, any questions?
That game tomorrow, it wasn't on the original schedule, was it?
Well, it was on the original schedule, but not for tomorrow. It got moved. I don't know why it got moved, but it got moved. And so that's why I try to keep the weekly Grizzly update when things changed, because we were able to, we have 2, it's not on here, but we just found out we have 2 junior high games Friday and Saturday that weren't on the schedule at all because they didn't exist, and we finally found some teams that will play. And so we had also that our junior high can get more games because they only have 6 or 7 games, and now that gives them
What do you mean they didn't exist?
there's not many junior highs. Some of the junior high teams like Bond, we played them the other day, but it was a mixed team. It was a mixed
Oh,
team.
yeah, and the Bond game too, yeah. Well,
Bond ended up having a team, but it was a co-ed team. And so, they had it wrong on their schedule and showed up to play. And rather than our kids lose an opportunity to play, we turned it into a scrimmage and played them since they drove here anyway, so that our kids, we just turned our practice into a scrimmage so that our kids could get some playing time. And we try to get as many games.
Yeah, I
as we
didn't see
can.
that on the schedule
Yeah,
either.
so it wasn't on anybody's schedule. We were loading the buses, and one of the coaches called and said, "Bond's here to play us." We're like, for what? So, it wasn't on Dragonfly, it wasn't on anything, because it wasn't scheduled, so, yeah. So, but we wanted our kids to get a chance to play, so the coaches
Yeah, of course.
put together a game plan, they became the officials, and we put together a scrimmage, and, I think it was a pretty good night. I mean, it's hard when it's co-ed, because they play co-ed all year, and we mix our team for the game, and so our kids haven't really played together, but, they're at least getting thrown down the court, shoot some baskets, play offense and defense, so.
Superintendent's
I'll
report.
jump on into the superintendent's report, like I told her, yeah, I would rather hear from her than me, so.
This way you want to step in.
Yeah, I'll hand it to, Coach Lemay back there. So, construction, you kind of see what's going on. We've got some exciting things. I'm not gonna hold my breath yet. The biggest thing that changed from, last meeting to this meeting is there is a chance that final completion of the main building will be December 2025. Yeah. That does not mean we will occupy it over the holiday, because then what they'll do is final checklists, have to fix anything on the final checklist. Then we got to schedule to move in and all that. So it's probably still mid-March before we occupy it. Maybe aiming for spring break, maybe, figure out something, but there may be a mass move-in. Because if we can get in earlier in 2 months, it would be good to do that, because what we're going to have to get started and done fast is the parking lot over here, so that we have it ready for the school year when it starts. And that's going to be a tight timeline if we don't take ownership till May. But that was exciting news. It caught all of us off guard when we told that. In fact, we made them double check, triple check, and quadruple check, and they still say, no, they're thinking the main part. And then the other part is, I think I said this last month, but in case I didn't, CTE building, they plan on us being in when we start school in August. So, football field and track. They were supposed to be here last Thursday to do the walkthrough, but that was when we had all the snow and all that. So um, to my knowledge, they did not show up. They'll come this week sometime to do the walkthrough. As part of the conversation is twofold. Making sure that we can try to get the lights taken care of while we're there. We're going to go ahead and work with the lighting company, the electricity company that's doing our school. That'll be stuff we pay for, but they're going to be here anyway, and they're going to be the ones carrying our warranty on everything else. We might as well let them take care of the lights as well. So I'm still waiting on a bid on that, but that we'll get that. And then the other part of the walkthrough is I want to make sure, talking to them, that while they do the field park and we still use the track to get to and from PE, work out some of those details with them to keep our kids safe, still have access to PE for the gym for PE, and see if there's any chance of us having access to the track during track practice during that time, or if we need to completely just work with Captain to do what we talked about going there. That's nothing else really has changed a whole lot. If you've driven by in the daytime, which if you haven't, I challenge you to do that. The dirt work is done. I think Roper Construction picked up their equipment yesterday. And they have, looks like, I have the construction update tomorrow, but from my eye, it looks like they staked out the new building so that they can start running the utilities and placing the utilities so that they can come back and do the footings and everything else is what it looks like. I'll get that update tomorrow in our in-person meeting, and I'm sure tomorrow we'll do a walkthrough. So, PAC meeting we've already discussed. Last Tuesday, I headed to the City Hall council meeting to support the chief in his curfew. They had to move it to February because there was some wording they needed to fix. I tried to get on the January meeting to discuss Airport Street. By the time of Christmas break and all that, I talked to the mayor. Him and I agreed we could do it in February, and that gives me a time to. I still got one neighbor that I planning to see, but I haven't got to meet with him yet because at a gym and basketball game, one place to meet with him. So he knows I'm gonna try to catch him sometime this week and just kind of let him know what we're doing, make sure he's okay with what it may or may not impact him. So I'm on that February's agenda. The one thing I got to check is make sure every now and then their meeting's on the same day as ours. So I got to make sure.
It's usually the same.
Yeah, it's usually not, but every now and then, for some reason, we've ended up with meetings on the same day. So I just need to double check that. I'm gonna skip the power school and come back to it. We've had several water line breaks that I've kept you up to date on. We've got Miss Roper's water fixed. We've got wood flooring that was left from another project that's never been used that we're gonna put in. So they're gonna pull the carpet out and put the flooring in there and see if we like it, see if there's enough to do some more of that, because I would like to, in the near future, do something with at least the carpet in the 3 front offices and this room, updated, freshen it up, or do something. And we had the wood floor. She wants the wood floor, so we're gonna give it a shot to see what it looks like and see how it works. I'm afraid the chair's gonna scoot out from under me. So, and the main thing is we want to make sure we've got it clean and the musty and all that out there. The good news is it stayed in her office. The bad news is it stayed in her office. So, Power School, I've kept y'all up to date with what we have on it. We still don't know a whole lot of details of how it impacted us, except that we do know that they did gain access through Power School to some information. We just don't know what all that looks like. Power School is doing a deep dive. This is a nationwide situation for Power School. I put it on here because one of the things, at one point I thought it was going to be an action item, but it ended up not going to that. But through NIMSIA and Palms, which is our insurance company, we connected with a third-party attorney that specializes in cyber situations. That's all they do. Many districts are going with it. Don't have a total number yet. Some are using their personal attorney. Some are using this third party. I'm leaning towards the third party because here's what they do. They will run all communications, making sure our constituents are protected, taken care of, making sure our information, any notifications that we got to get out are taken care of. Our school's supposed to do all that, but they write herd on it, and it saves me from having to sit there and be on 4 or 5 calls a day. And this is what they specialize in, to make sure, you know, everybody's protected, us, our people, our students, and all that. And so the reason why I thought it might become an item is when they first told me that, it was a $50K deductible. Well, met with NIPSIA today, and this is what it breaks down to. McDonald Hopkins is the third-party attorney. Their base amount is $7,500. Beasley is the cyber insurance that Palms use, and their deductible kicks in at $50,000. They're the third party. However, because we're with Palms, ours kicks in at $5K, and they pay up to $45,000. So what we would end up out going with this third party is about $5,000, maybe $7,500, to get a third party attorney that just focuses on this. I keep our attorneys pretty busy on some other things that I just feel like having somebody that focuses on this is all they do, especially in a world that's kind of new to cyber issues. It would be to our best bet to do that. And so that's kind of the information I have on that right now. Like I said, we don't know the depth of it. I know almost every district in our region got hit, and then I know some bigger districts got hit. I know California got hit months ago. It is a nationwide issue, and again, still looking and diving down on what it actually entails. So, any questions on that?
I did have one question on this agenda. I guess, I didn't see anything about the drug testing for the kids. I mean, I thought they were supposed to do
I have that in my board report. So, got emailed back today that the policy writers, effective today, is up on our website, it's up on our policy and all of that. I'm glad you brought that up, because I did actually have that on here to talk about, and for some reason I didn't make it longer. So now we're at a place where we could have the meeting, which would probably at the earliest be next week. By the time the drug company could get here to test now would be March. By the time we get all the signatures, everything but track is over. And so my question or comment was, at this point, it would almost be better to start it in August as part of our whole athletic policy and everything going on. Because what we're going to tracking is about testing and paying for is about 10 kids that are on track by the time it all pans out now. And so we're not hitting everything that we were hoping to hit with it. And it allows to, it gives us a lot more time to get all the parent signatures and sign on to it and get everything we need to get done.
So we're gonna test on each sport, is that what you're saying?
Right. So what we would do when I talked to the coaches, I thought I did report on that last time, that I don't have that right here in front of you. I saw that coach, when they correct me if I'm wrong, but we went a route where we would do the 25% every other month, which really works out to about 50% a quarter. Now, granted, I say about, because I might get drawn the first time, she might get drawn the second time, you might get drawn both times, because it's random. And so I say about 50% because you don't know how that hits. And that would be 2 times, and I use the example of every other month. I don't want to say every month, I would say 2 times per sport. That way they don't know when it's coming, it stays random. If you say 2 times, if you say every other month, then they're like, okay, well, if I got tested in August, I got till October to not worry about it.
Right.
We don't want to create that false security either. So doing 2 times per sport, which would be equivalent to about 50%, and that would be 3 times per semester that testing happens. So You have 3 before Christmas, 3 after Christmas. It keeps the numbers where we talked about that we wanted to, both money-wise, but also both trying to get the most impact that we can and involve the most students we can to get it done on that. So, and I have not talked to the coaches about this part yet, because I've been waiting on it to hit our policy, and I thought it would hit a little bit sooner. And so I thought we'd had a meeting already with parents to do that, but by the time we would get it in place, we would be maybe still playing this district tournament, basketball district tournament.
First week of March.
Yeah, so it might impact that, depending on when the company could schedule us and get started. So, and so, you know, it is, either way, it's just now getting the people here, who's gonna do it, who's not, at the end of the year, right here, what's going on. It's just time of getting it all done, you know, so that's why I kind of recommend that we, I lean towards just starting it in August, starting it right off the bat, fresh, no holds. It's in our policy. It didn't happen in the middle of the year, so nobody can play that card. Well, when I signed that athletic code in August, we weren't doing this, but now we are. And so it just, at this point, we could have started it in January, December. I would argue differently, but as late as we can get it started, it might be cleaner to start in August. This is a good way to put it. So.
Also, it wasn't in there either, I'm not gonna bring it up, but speaking of comms, did you call them about that presentation for the 6th through 12th graders that I?
Yes, I did email the lady, and we're looking for dates.
Oh,
We're looking for dates right now, and quite frankly, with the snows and the other things, I have not followed back up with it. But yes, we have started the email conversation looking for dates and working on getting here to do that, yes. So I'm trying to remember her name, because
I can't
I
remember.
had her name on my tongue, so, but
Yeah.
yes.
Or something, I don't know.
Okay, any other questions for Mr. Patrick?
Thank you, Spencer.
Finance report.
Hey, good evening, members of the board. It's good to see you all again. So we're looking at the agenda here, and it looks like we have a bar. It's a small bar. It's just the final allocation for the Carl Perkins. So there's that, and then we have all of the disbursement detail. Are there any questions on those?
Yeah, who's Sweetwater Sound?
That's a company that sells musical equipment, and it's for your
Oh, for the
Your drum line,
oh,
yeah,
so-
yeah.
Okay, that's nice. Okay.
Okay, and then down further, you have your expenditure reports. If they're, or wait, your purchase order, so you've got all of those. There's not as many last month because of the holidays, clearly. But then you would go down to your analytic review, and everything looks pretty good there. Your expenditures are just a little bit more, but I think it's because of the construction that's going on with y'all. You know, you've got more construction that's being paid out. So there's that. And all your funds look healthy and good, and everything looks pretty good.
Questions for me? Thank you.
And I stand for any questions if you have any, but there's really none there.
Moving on to item 6, approval of the consent agenda items.
Move to pay all bills. Increase or decrease. And the budget transfers, yes.
Okay,
A second.
moving second, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. And it's that time of year again. Remember the process we did last year for evaluating? Do we want to keep that same process or do we want to change it?
That was on the email, right? Or?
The survey monkey.
Yeah, the survey monkey.
I think that's fine.
Ineffective.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We will proceed with that. I'll send it out sometime in February, part of February, and then the results back by the February meeting. Right? I think that's what we did last year.
February, March meeting.
Was it March? I can't remember. I'd have to
It
go
was
back and look.
February meeting, so.
Yeah, it was February. So, we'll just follow the same process, if that's agreeable.
That's right.
All right, item 8, discussion approval of the audit that Carmen just went over with us. Any motion to approve?
I move to approve the audit by Beasley Mitchell and Company for the 23-24 school year.
Second.
One second, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Item B, hotel rooms in Santa Fe are outrageous. So we have to have special authority to spend that much, so.
I move to approve hotel rates over 215 for the 2025 NMSBA Board Member Institute for February 12th, 13th through the 14th.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. I need 2 members to serve on the finance committee.
Who's there now?
I usually do.
Who's the second one?
I don't remember who was last year. Do you?
I think it was
Chris?
Chris.
Or Dave?
He's not here. You could name either one of them.
I
I'm
move
checking, I'm
to,
out of town all the time, I just don't wanna.
I move to keep the same members on the finance committee.
All right. Figure out who the second one is. It was Chris.
Guess we could ask.
I think it was Chris. I don't remember. If not, it will be Chris. By default. Or Faye, it doesn't matter. Anyway. All right.
I second.
Then move to second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next board meeting, February 18th, Institute Spring Budget Law Conference. Anything else to come before us tonight? Move we adjourn. Move and second, all those in favor, let's hit the road.
Aye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Miss LeMay, for coming.
Thank you.
Short and sweet.
Thank
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, have a good night.
I didn't ask, did you have anything you needed